This is the Sony BRAVIA 7 QLED TV, and I've had a chance to check out all of the new Sony TVs in the summer, but for a small limited time. Now I've had this TV for nearly a month as my daily live watching TV, my gaming TV, and also streaming TV. Sony sent this and a sound system for review, but this does not change how I feel, and also Sony does not preview this video before going live. The BRAVIA 7 is a mini LED TV and is positioned as an entry-level premium TV, so it sits behind the 8 and 9 in price and also performance. Sony makes TVs made for watching movies, and I talked all about that in my previous videos over the whole lineup. Let's begin with design. The BRAVIA 7 has a sleek, modern design. It has brushed aluminum casing that fits most decor. It has these slim metal feet, and there are 4 different mounting options. The feet can be set to wide or narrow depending on your own setup. Now both setups also offer a low and high setting. When you set it to high, it adds an additional 3.8 inches, and I'm using the high narrow setup, which works best for my TV stand. And I do love this feature. It actually makes this the perfect height for any soundbar you slide under it. Now, many times you buy a TV and get a soundbar, the soundbar covers the screen a little bit, or you have to mount it. This is just a very easy, elegant solution. Back of the TV, there isn't anything special we've seen. It's this little checkerboard pattern. You know, most recent Sony TVs have that. Also, there is not any sort of cable management, so sometimes the cables are going to be visible when watching the TV on a stand unless you do your own type of cable management. The BRAVIA 7 TV is running Google TV version 12. Google TV is a very smooth OS. It has all the apps you can ever want, including some of the games too. You can hook up a gaming controller if you want, or you could just use the remote to play some games. You can also cast video or images to this TV easily. The UI is simple to use, but at times it can feel a little cluttered. Now we do have HDR for YouTube and Netflix at a high bitrate. Also, they have an exclusive partnership with Amazon Prime, and it's designed to work with this TV. So it changes the picture profile based on what you are watching automatically. And this will also happen with live TV too, but that is not ready until the football season starts. And this is Sony Pictures Core, which gives you access to Sony's movies, but also it plays at a higher bit rate. Once you register this TV, it also gives you some coupons to purchase movies. So the software suite is very good on this TV, and honestly, I don't see myself needing to add an additional streaming box at all. Everything I need is on this TV. This TV truly shines when watching movies on it, with a large number of viewing modes, and each one gives you a unique look. I recommend browsing between each one to see which setting you like best. I love cinema, but for some people, it may be too dark for their personal liking. Now these are calibrated by professionals in the industry as well, so I do say give them a chance. It also has additional movie watching features like a mode just for 24p, which allows these movies to really look like film. And once again, that is the objective of the BRAVIA line. It's bringing cinema home, so a lot of things are going to be geared towards watching movies. Now, one feature I really like is the ability to adjust the TV settings per app. So when I launched YouTube, it would look different than when I launch Netflix, where I watch more movies on. So YouTube, I can put it on standards, and Netflix, I can put it on cinema, which I think is cool. Now, out of the box, when I look at a TV, I like to put on some movies and YouTube videos that I know very well. For copyright reasons, I can't show everything, but I'll show some examples. This is a mini LED TV, so naturally contrast will be great. But when you turn on local dimming to high, you can truly see the difference between the deep blacks and very bright highlights, which takes the picture to the next level. HDR is also fantastic on this TV. It gets very bright, bringing out the brightness and highlights and flashes, or like if you're looking at the sun or something like that. You know, I truly can't show it on this camera since my camera doesn't capture HDR, but in person, this is some of the best HDR I have seen in a very long time, and especially at a TV that is at this price level. The colors on this TV are also great. You can get something very punchy and vivid mode, or something more subdued and deep in one of the cinematic modes. No matter how you shape it, no matter how you want to view it, the BRAVIA 7 has some of the most accurate colors I've seen, and I would assume these colors would be the same on the 8 and 9 as well, as Sony puts a lot of work into its color science. When watching movies on this TV and even doing some streaming, this TV does it so well that I think most people would be impressed with this TV in their living room. Now there is some blooming which is expected, but it's minimal compared to other mini LED TVs that I've seen, so kudos to Sony on this one. However, when it comes to a TV that is not like the highest end of TVs, there's going to be some drawbacks, maybe some compromises, and there are definitely a few here. Mainly, the viewing angles are not great. When watching this TV not directly head on, you find those great colors to be fading a little bit, and some of the brightness falls off too. Reflections will show on this TV more than some other TVs that I've seen. Now, anti-glare technology on some other manufacturers' TVs are really good, and I recently done a video with that, and it's night and day compared to this TV. I mean, there's a lot of reflections here, and that is something you need to consider when buying a TV if you have a room with a lot of lights, or like these little pot lights, or a room with a lot of windows. Also in gaming mode, which I'll talk about in depth soon, there's a lot of blooming when low latency is turned on. As you can see here around the jersey on Derek Jeter. And so yeah, that is something that is left to be desired because there are a few issues. Now speaking of gaming mode, this TV is not a gaming TV, but it can play with many of the features that you'd like to see. So you have like VRR, screen size adjustments, G-Sync, and more. By default, when you plug in a gaming source that is not a PS5, it just sees it as HDMI. So you need to go ahead and turn on gaming mode and then turn on low latency mode. Otherwise, you're gonna have a lot of lag when you're using the controller. Once you have on low latency mode, you get the full response time on the controller. It's good enough for most gamers, including myself. I was playing MLB The Show, I played God of War, I played NCAA. I felt it was fine, but stat-wise, it is slower than Samsung and LG. So if you are a competitive gamer and every millisecond counts, I would steer away from this TV and go with one of the higher-end flagships from those manufacturers. Now, I did mention if you plug in a non-PS5, because this TV has unique features only for the PS5, and when you plug in a PS5, it recognizes it. It doesn't say HDMI 4, it says PS5, which other TVs actually does it no matter what you plug into it, but Sony wants to be the Sony TV for Sony PlayStation 5. So it does give you additional features like auto HDR, tone mapping, and auto genre picture mode, which I sort of don't mind. They can unlock more features in the PS5 since it's made by Sony, but locking features is kind of a bit to me. Now the sound on this TV is expected for a modern flat TV. It does not get super loud without distortion, and there's little to no bass as expected. And you know, the dialogue is fine, and I was using it a little bit without the soundbar, and it was okay. You know, I've heard worse. I haven't heard much better, so it's fine. But as I did mention, Sony did send me a full sound setup, so I definitely had to set it up. One of the cool things that Sony is doing is that it's using the TV as a big speaker as well to fill in the sound with the soundbar. So you have the soundbar, you have the TV, and then you also have whatever else you connect to. So yeah, Sony sent me the surround sound system to check out, and I want to give you some quick impressions of that. The soundbar is the BRAVIA 8 theater soundbar, and also I have the SW5 subwoofer and the RS5 rear speakers. Now when Sony talks about bringing cinema home, this is a great combo for that. Now what's nice about this setup is that the sub is wireless and so are the rears. The rears also have a built-in battery, so it can be totally wireless if you wish, or it can be like a Bluetooth speaker if you want to take it outside or something like that. I love playing games like NCAA, Forza, or even first-person shooters with this setup. I don't know much about sound, but this sounds very good. It's actually better than what I currently use in my basement now, which is a Samsung setup. And so you have this great picture and you have this awesome sound, and overall you have a great combination. What I like about these rear speakers is that I don't feel like it's just a right and left channel. It feels like it's right, center, left, right. Like I really feel like it's surrounding me, and Sony does a really great job with these speakers, and they provide a great fill-in sound, and also like when playing these games, you spin around, you can hear that audio turn around with you. And then we have the Sony BRAVIA Theater U headset, which I felt was a gimmick at first, but after using it, I totally get it. This headset sits comfortably on your shoulders, and that projects the audio up towards your ears. So this headset provides 360 audio from your BRAVIA TV, and it sits right here on your neck. It's a Bluetooth headset with some pretty good battery life too. I haven't had a chance to kill it yet, but it's been going for several hours. The sound is very good for an over-the-ear headset, and this is great for people who needs to keep the volume down but still wants great sound. You can also connect multiple headsets to a BRAVIA TV, so everyone has their own personal audio. Now, if you don't have a BRAVIA TV, it's still all good because you still have the same headset, but you don't have the 360 audio capabilities, which in my opinion, the 3D sound is what really makes this headset sound good. You can pick this up for $300, which is a little bit on the expensive side for me, but this is just another accessory to the Sony sound ecosystem. The price for everything is linked down below, including this TV if you're interested in anything. Overall, Sony proves why it wins the awards for the best picture quality. Although this is not the highest end TV that they have, there are so many high-end features that makes this TV great. And since there aren't any major glaring issues with this TV at all, it makes me excited to see how much better the 8 or 9 actually is, because this TV is great. But for most people who love their movies and want to watch the movies in the most accurate way possible, and this TV fits in your price range, I'd definitely give this TV a look.